Hey everyone, welcome back to Smile and Talk. I'm Mark.
And I'm Maria. Thanks for joining us again. Today's topic is something every English learner struggles with at some point. Stop translating, start speaking in English. But before we start, please help subscribe our channel. It helps us so much.
Oh, yes, that's a big one. I think this episode is going to help a lot of people who feel stuck between thinking in their native language and actually speaking English naturally.
Exactly. So many learners say, I can read English, I can understand it, but when I try to speak, my brain freezes.
Right. And that's usually because they're translating in their head first, word by word, before they speak.
Yes, and that translation step slows everything down. It makes you nervous, it breaks your confidence, and it kills your fluency.
Totally. So today we're going to talk about why translating doesn't work and what to do instead.
Let's start with this. Why do people translate when they speak English?
Well, I think it's natural at first. When you learn a new language, your brain tries to connect it to something it already knows, your native language.
Exactly. It's like building a bridge between two languages.
Right. But the problem is that bridge becomes a traffic jam. You spend so much time crossing it that you forget where you were going.
That's such a great metaphor.
Thanks. And also, languages don't match perfectly. You can't always find a word for word translation.
Yes, grammar, word order, even expressions, they're all different.
Exactly. For example, in English, we say, I'm cold, but in some languages, people say, it's cold to me. If you translate that literally, it sounds strange in English.
Totally. That's why thinking in your native language first makes speaking sound unnatural.
Right. So the goal is not to stop using your first language completely, but to start training your brain to think directly in English.
Yes, that's the key. Training your brain to switch modes. So let's talk about why translation actually slows people down.
Sure. First, it takes time. When you're translating, your brain has to do three steps: understand in your language, translate it into English, then speak it. That's exhausting.
Exactly. It's like having to pass every word through a filter before it comes out.
Right. And that's why people say, I know what to say, but I can't say it fast enough.
Yes, that's one of the most common frustrations I hear from my students.
The second problem is accuracy. When you translate directly, the meaning often changes.
True. Sometimes what sounds polite or normal in your language can sound rude or confusing in English.
Yes, and vice versa. So, translation not only slows you down, it can also lead to mistakes.
And the third problem is confidence.
Oh, absolutely.
When you translate, you get stuck in your head. You're constantly checking, is this correct? Does this sound right?
Yes, and that creates anxiety. You become self conscious instead of just talking naturally.
Exactly. And the more nervous you feel, the more your brain freezes. It's like a vicious circle.
Totally. That's why the solution is to stop translating and start thinking in English instead.
Let's explain what thinking in English actually means, because it can sound a bit abstract.
Yeah, good point. Thinking in English doesn't mean you suddenly wake up one day and your brain magically switches languages.
I wish it worked like that.
Same. But really, it means processing information directly in English, using English words, phrases, and mental pictures instead of translating them from your native language.
Yes. For example, instead of thinking, how do I say I'm hungry in English? You just think the feeling of being hungry, and the English phrase pops up naturally.
Exactly. You start associating English with meaning, not translation.
Right. It's like how a child learns their first language. They don't translate, they connect words with experiences.
Yes, when a child hears apple, they think of the fruit, not the translation in another language.
That's the secret to fluency, connecting English words to ideas, emotions, and actions, not to your first language.
So now the big question, how can someone stop translating?
Great question. Step one, start small.
Absolutely.
Choose a few daily activities and describe them in English, out loud or in your mind. Like, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee. The sky is blue.
Yes, that's a great start. It trains your brain to use English for everyday thinking.
Exactly. And because these are simple, familiar activities, you don't need to translate.
Step 2 is to immerse yourself in English.
Yes, the more you hear English, the easier it becomes to think in it.
Watch movies, listen to podcasts, read short stories. But here's the trick, don't translate while you do it.
Exactly. Just try to understand the main idea. You don't need to understand every word.
That's key. Focus on meaning, not on individual words.
Step three is to speak more, even if you make mistakes.
100%. Speaking helps your brain form new connections.
Yes, and when you speak, don't pause to think about grammar. Just focus on communicating.
That's huge. Fluency grows from using the language, not from analyzing it.
I think perfectionism is another big reason people translate.
Oh, definitely. They're afraid to make mistakes.
Yes, so they try to create perfect sentences in their native language first, then translate them.
Exactly. But real conversation doesn't work like that.
Right, in real life, people don't speak perfectly either.
Exactly. We all hesitate, repeat ourselves, even use the wrong words sometimes. And that's okay.
Yes, the goal is communication, not perfection.
When you let go of perfection, your confidence grows. And when you're confident, you start thinking more naturally in English.
That's so true. Perfection is the enemy of progress.
Absolutely. It's better to speak imperfectly but naturally than to stay silent because you're afraid of mistakes.
Let's talk about practical ways to immerse yourself in English every day.
Sure. One thing I always recommend is changing your phone's language to English.
Oh, yes, that's a great one.
It forces you to see English words in daily life, on your apps, your settings, your notifications.
Right, it's a small change, but it builds daily exposure.
You can also label things around your house, like door, mirror, refrigerator.
Exactly. That helps your brain connect English words directly to objects, not translations.
And when you do chores, like cooking, cleaning, or walking, try narrating what you're doing in English.
Yes, that's one of my favorite exercises. It keeps your brain active in English all day long.
The more English becomes part of your environment, the less you'll rely on translation.
Yes. Listening is another important skill where people often translate.
Definitely. When they hear English, they try to translate every word in their head before understanding.
And that's why they miss the next sentence.
Exactly. The trick is to listen for the meaning, not the words.
Yes, focus on tone, emotion, and context.
For example, if someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" you don't need to translate it literally. You just know they're greeting you.
Exactly. You understand the intention, not just the words.
So practice listening without stopping. Even if you don't understand everything, keep going.
That's so important. Your brain needs time to get used to the rhythm and flow of English. Let's talk about confidence because it plays a big role in thinking in English.
Absolutely. When you trust yourself to speak, you stop overthinking.
Yes. Confidence doesn't come from knowing every grammar rule, it comes from using English in real situations.
Exactly. The more you speak, the more your brain learns to respond automatically.
Right. I always tell my students, don't wait until you feel ready. Start now and confidence will come later.
I love that. Action builds confidence, not the other way around.
Exactly. Every time you speak English, even if it's imperfect, you're training your brain to think faster.
Yes, it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Let's give our listeners some practical exercises to think in English daily.
Sure. Here's one. Describe what you see. Look around your room and name everything in English.
Good one. You can also describe what people are doing, like she's walking, he's drinking coffee.
Yes, it builds automatic sentence patterns.
Another exercise, talk to yourself in English.
I do that sometimes.
Me too. It's a great way to practice without pressure.
Totally. You can practice conversations you might have, ordering food, asking for directions, small talk.
Exactly. The key is consistency. Even 5 minutes a day helps your brain think more in English.
Right. Small daily habits add up over time.
Let's share some stories. Have you ever worked with a student who stopped translating and made big progress?
Oh, absolutely. I remember one student from Japan. She used to translate every single sentence before speaking. She was always nervous.
I can imagine.
So I told her to stop using her dictionary during conversations. At first, she struggled, but after a few weeks, she started using simple English to explain what she meant.
That's great.
And guess what? Her fluency improved dramatically. Not because her grammar was perfect, but because she was finally thinking in English.
That's so inspiring.
What about you?
I had a student from Brazil who used to translate every phrase. One day I challenged her to describe her morning entirely in English, no translation allowed.
Nice.
She said it was hard at first, but after 2 weeks, she noticed her brain started switching automatically. She stopped thinking in Portuguese during conversations.
That's amazing. Proof that practice really works.
Exactly. The brain adapts when you train it consistently.
I think another part of this journey is learning to enjoy English, not stress about it.
Yes. When you enjoy the language, you learn faster.
Exactly. Watch shows you love, listen to songs you like, not just textbooks.
Right. Make English part of your lifestyle, not just a subject.
When you have fun, you stop translating because you're focused on the experience, not the words.
That's true. Enjoyment builds natural thinking. So, Mark, if you had to give one piece of advice to someone who wants to stop translating, what would it be?
I'd say trust your instincts. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Speak even when you're unsure. The more you trust yourself, the less you'll translate.
That's beautiful.
What about you?
I'd say make English part of your world. think, dream, laugh, and live in English a little every day.
That's perfect.
Because when English becomes part of your daily life, translation just fades away.
Exactly. You stop studying English and start living it.
That's perfect.
So, everyone listening, remember, stop translating, start speaking. Don't wait for perfection. Just express yourself.
Yes, you'll make mistakes, but you'll also make progress.
Absolutely. And one day you'll realize you're thinking in English without even trying.
That's when you know you've made it.
Beautifully said.
Thanks, Mark.
And thank you, Maria.
And thanks to all our listeners for spending time with us today.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.
See you next time on Smile and Talk.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.